idea.
Absolutely, yeah. It's positive affirmations, and I'm a very strong believer of positive affirmations, but I think they won't solely work without really looking at the groundwork and realigning yourself internally. So it's a really good point that you just raised there about, just slipped my mind there. You mentioned, well, just going back to the self-affirmation, the inner critic, the one who talks to us and tells us is the worst kind of communication that we can have when it's negative. And that inner critic is a person who will make you feel the worst. So aligning that with a positive affirmation, if we allow ourselves to be compassionate to ourselves, if we allow ourselves to say, hang on, you went through this ordeal, it wasn't a choice, it was something that happened to you, and now it's okay to allow yourself to move forward and show yourself some compassion. And then with that, a positive affirmation, with that to perhaps look at yourself in the mirror. And many people find it very difficult to even look in the mirror and to see anything positive. You know, I know for a very long time, I would look in the mirror and I just didn't want to see the person because I was told for a very long time that I was unattractive, that I wasn't worthy, that I was stupid and whatever it might be. So when I looked in the mirror, that's what I saw. But we can't always control our inner critic, but we can treat it like our best friend. So we can almost condition our mind to say, when you look in that mirror, just choose something, just one thing that you like about yourself. It might be you might have a nice personality. It might be you have a nice smile, you have pretty eyes, in your eye you lovely hair, whatever it might be. Start with one thing and give yourself a 30-day plan. And the next day, add something else. And the third day, add something else.
I love that. I like structure. Because once we start saying, you know, things like find something nice to say about yourself, it still gets me in a rut in my mind, because I'm thinking in that moment, there's nothing. There's really nothing I don't perceive, you know? So it would be something worth looking into, to maybe draw from archives of when you felt beautiful, or going through old pictures of yourself in a happier time or stage in your life, just to remind yourself of what you look like, to have that mental picture recreated of a happy version of yourself. And then with that, exactly what you just said, then on a daily basis, complement that a particular facet or area or feature of yourself, and then progressively move out of that pit. I really like the sense of structure in that. And then you've touched on quite a bit of the others that I wanted to raise, but there's also then thoughts such as you know, you're not deserving of ever being loved again. We do all of this groundwork and this internal groundwork, and you know, you get to a place where you feel you've healed enough to step out of your shell again, but there's still that very strong sense of what if, just what if I'm really not worthy of love in this way. You know, yes, you're back to being your bubbly self again, like an onion. So is the entire process. But how do we get to that place where our confidence is the most fragile and nourish it from there?
Yeah, I just want to rewind a little bit and go back to one of the previous points that you said. When you look in the mirror and you see some physical appearance, sometimes it's difficult to find something physical. So sometimes you look at some attribute that you might have. Perhaps you're a kind person. Perhaps you might have some other attributes that are not just physical or something that you can physically see, but there's something that you do. Perhaps you're kind. Perhaps you spoke to someone at the supermarket, or perhaps you just anything that makes you feel more worthy. And going back to your current point, how do we get to that place of where we feel that we are enough or we are worthy? By journaling. I find journaling is something that helps people to be able to reflect on where they were and where they have now got to. And not everybody is visual. People might be auditory, so they might want to listen more. So I always say download an app, download a voice app, and just keep a journal of your journey, and then reflect back on where you were and all the steps that you have taken and how far you have come. And in the same way, knowing that having future goals that these are going to be achievable, like you've already may have achieved getting out of bed in the morning, being able to do your bed, being able to go for a walk, just being able to pick up the phone and speak to someone is an achievement. So smaller, and then making a journal, I find really helps a lot of people. Voice journaling or physically writing, and then reflecting back on how far you have come. And also, sometimes that anger, like you said, it's easier said than done. Sometimes that anger of why did this happen? I always advise to write it down, write down what you would say to that person, journal what you would say to that person, let your emotions be released, because that's otherwise pent up inside your body. Allow them to be released, write them down, but don't do anything with that paper. When you've done and you feel like you're more relaxed and you're like, I've got it out my system now, I feel a bit better, not 100%, but I feel 2% better.
Yeah, which counts.
Thanks, because 2 leads to 4 and so forth. Then a piece of paper, burn it.
Yeah.
Rip it into small shreds. I usually crunch it into a ball and throw it, and then just think that's not enough. There's some more left in me yet, and take some more out and more out until you're physically like moving, thinking you're physically releasing the emotions that were trapped inside. So allowing yourselves to do these small steps, it's a journey and it's that process to be able to heal and to move forward.
Yeah, that's really powerful. I love that you touched on the journaling, because that moves us on to the next leg of this insert, the invitation for the ladies to write in under the topic My Anchor. So this topic has been running since the beginning of these webinars, and the idea is for us to have a practical and a cathartic approach to grief management in this time. So the catharsis will be through the written word, which then the ladies, write their articles and submit them. And the practical side of things will be us then having these discussions on a monthly basis and really engaging each other. Mamuela just joined us. Welcome, Mami. Please mute your mic. You have come at a very opportune moment, because we are going to round up our discussion now, Naz. I love that you have very structured and very practical ideas that you have shared with the ladies. So I just wanted us to just a quick round up for everybody that's only now joining us. Welcome to everyone that's joining us. Thank you for coming on board. I just want us to just a quick list, a checklist of the first things that one should do in the morning to get them kicked off on this journey and, feeling like they can tackle the day. Because a day in itself can, present with a lot of challenging moments that make us forget about the journey that we're on. So can you just give us like a quick 5-minute exercise that one can do in the morning just to get themselves into the zone?
Okay, so just for example, waking up in the morning and just feeling that just by even doing your bed, it's like a metaphor for just organizing your life. So your headspace will feel more confident. You'll feel that you've got more approach to the day because you've done something and it's made you feel productive. And just doing that one thing in the morning, it can make you feel that you've achieved something. So you're starting the day with accomplishing something. The next thing we can do is take 5 minutes out just to meditate. Meditation, I feel it relaxes your mind, it puts you at peace. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you may have. I understand people have children, I understand they have commitments and other things as well. Even be that 1 minute, but just having that time to be able to meditate as the day progresses. And for example, they're going for a walk, just to stop for a minute and listen and not think, just to be able to absorb the situation that they're in. Listen to the birds, look at the sky, do whatever it takes, but just to stand still and let time just allow to run through you so that you can just feel that you're flourishing and to give you that space. And then through the day as well, at some point, if they can, as the day is getting gone and they might be feeling a bit down, they might be feeling a bit like, oh, do you know what, I just want to climb back into bed again. Going back to the positive affirmation, just, looking at yourself in the mirror and just reminding yourself how far you have come, what journey you have been on, who you were before you may have been in that toxic relationship, and then also who you want to become, which I feel is a really big, it plays a really big role when we know we have dreams and aspirations and we want to become somebody. Just knowing that there's a possibility to achieve them makes you just want to be able to reach out a little bit more. And then towards the end of the night, again, just going back to meditation, just having that time and space to allow yourself to just relax and cool your mind down, and then be ready for, and lastly, it's a really good practice the night before to perhaps have an idea of what you might plan to do the next day. So you've got something to wake up for. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, you've got something just to be able to wake up and think, right, I need to do this. It could be gardening. It could just be something as simple as, organizing your wardrobe. It could be the smallest things. It could be the biggest thing, but just something that you've got to look forward to. Even having your outfit ready for the next day, that you know that you're going to have it there. It's something that you can look forward to and you can start your day. You physically feel like you're starting your day. So I hope just small little things, because when you come from these relationships, it's not the big things we've got to start with, it's the small things, and just to build upon them and move forward.
Yeah. And lastly, very, very lastly, because I so strongly believe in nourishing the mind, it's often said that the battlefield is there. So is there a book or a text that one can make reference to, like The Power of Now, for instance, or 5 Habits, or just a book that we can grab as ladies and commit to reading through and having an experience in terms of changing our mindset?
Yeah, I mean, the books that you just mentioned are really, really amazing books. And personally, what I tend to find is, rather than just focusing on a book, which can sometimes take a week, a day, a month, however long you might have, some people a couple of days, I would always suggest to go on YouTube and just put in something like healing methods from a toxic relationship. And within 5 minutes, you can just have 5 points to be able to move forward. And YouTube is such a vast platform to be able to get instant access. And even nowadays, I mean, my children have TikTok. I have just begun on TikTok, but it condenses information to 60 seconds. So you don't have to watch a whole clip of a YouTube for half an hour. You can just get bulletin points, toxic relationships, straight away within 60 seconds, you've got 5 points to be able to move forward. So it's amazing to be able to read. I just find, because it's so time consuming and your mindset might not be at that point where you're feeling strong enough to be able to pick and have that dedication. But just by being able to use social media and put in a Google search, so much information to be able to move forward with.
That's really powerful. Thank you so much, Naz. So ladies, there you have it. Means and ways of how to cope through the pain and the guilt as this stage of grief that we spoke about today. We really hope that this connection session and the previous one and those that are yet to come with better technology experiences, my goodness, we really hope that they've served to nourish your guys' hearts, minds, and souls, and have brought you closer on your journey to healing. This will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, so just search The Order of the Red Dress, and red dress is one word, and subscribe to the channel so you're the first to know when it's uploaded. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us again. Naz, thank you so much for your time and your insight.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Okay, good night, guys.
Bye.